Hey, hey, hey! It's the Pacific Northwest Geek here. Echo! Mr. Bones, Hobbs Horror, Tochi, Pop in the Popcorn, Rob's Vintage Video, Jami Heart, I Am the Ice Lord, Profesor Macabro, Hero here, Cha, Cha, Cha. Woo. Wow, that was something. Well, my first video for the year 2024. I'm going to do a little experimentation. And once again, you guys will be my guinea pigs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little retrospection of an old TV show. Let's see how this works. Maybe eventually I'll add other things to it. Basically, talk about the show and review and give my thoughts. And to start off with, I will be looking at the 1988 show that ran for 2 seasons, 1988 to 1990, War of the Worlds. This show actually debuted October 7th, 1988. $5 footlongs. 5 days after I turned 10, and ran to May of 1990, several months before I turned 12. Now we're going to have to go back and do a little timeline. In 1898, H.G. Wells released a book called of the same name, War of the Worlds, that told of aliens coming down and attacking us. Look, I read some kiddie version of it in the book, so they probably removed a lot to hold on to the attention span of a kid. But it basically talked about these aliens coming down, attacking us fighting, and then it was bacteria or something. If you read the book, the actual book, not some edited kid's book, let me know in the comments how the book ends. But, I should actually go back and find a copy of the book and actually read it. Anyways, in 1938, Orson Welles, no relation to H.G., did a radio show. That is a whole nother video right there. For those of you who know what happened in 1938, you understand why that's a whole nother video right there. Woof. Anyways, in 1953, they got a feature film that told of the aliens at that time in the 1953, over 70 years ago, now, of the aliens coming down and the bacteria and all the stuff. And the producer, again, look at my notes here, George Paul, produced, or was one of the producers, or whatever, of the movie. In the 70s, he tried to get a TV show that would be a sequel to the 1953 movie. Didn't happen. In 1988, it did. By my notes here, in the 80s, there were other alien shows. Some of them were like V, Alf, Star Trek The Next Generation, and Alien Nation, which did, start in late 89, so it is one of the 80s. Anyways, this show would star Jared Martin, who had been in stuff like, my notes here, How the West Was Won, The Fantastic Journey, and Dallas. He played Dr. Harrison Blackwood, the adopted son of Dr. Clayton Forrester, I believe was the main male lead in the original 1953 movie. Linda Manson Green has Dr. Suzanne McCall. Rachel Blanchard has her daughter, Debbie. Richard Chavez has Lieutenant Colonel Paul Ironhorse, and Philip Aiken has Norton Drake. In the years that had passed, 35, somehow people have forgotten about what happened in 53. It's like, it's not selective memory, it's like mass amnesia, like something for us I mean, there's a few people, very few people here and there, who do remember what happened in 1953. Like, but like there's a lot of amnesia. Like Macau's uncle, General Wilson, played by the late I have the notes here, John Viren. He talks about remembering that he fought in 53, but he doesn't recall why he was fighting or who he was fighting. But anyways, the bodies were put in these barrels and hidden at these different sites, and the spaceships, which there are a few spaceships we come to find out are left, were put in these warehouses. This group, like terrorist group or whatever, goes to attack one of the stations that the bodies are at because they want to use the tower, the communication towers there, and awaken the Martians, who the aliens. It turns out they weren't dead. They never died. They actually slipped into a coma, but the radiation has built up that has basically cleansed the body, or bodies, but they can now have a new ability. They can possess people. They can take over the bodies, go and merge with the bodies and take them over. Unfortunately, because of the radiation stuff, they burn out, which is why the three main aliens, later on, you see they got like these rubber robes on and the gas mask on, like containment suits to protect them. And as I try to figure out what happened, Blackwood reveals that he remembers. And that because Dr. Forrester remembered and was always working on it. Ooh. And also, let's see. Anne Robinson, played by Sylvia Van Buren, who was in the 1953 movie, returns to the same character. She seems to remember, but she is not well. They have to get the military. The military's, not, big on it. And eventually they're able to convince them that something's going on with the aliens, especially because, well, when you shoot these things, kill these things, they melt into this weird little puddles of goo. When you kill people, when you shoot them, normal people, they don't turn into a weird puddle of goo. Oh, if you shoot them with a cannon or something, maybe. I mean, it'd be nasty as hell, but. And they're put together. Blackwood, McCalla, are put together with Iron Horse and Norton Drake, who works with Blackwood, who's he's a college universal teacher who's a bit different, a bit eccentric. You see that during the first season. And they're put with Iron Horse at this nice little ranch that's actually a government-run, post. And, of course, Blackwood's free thinking in eccentric ways clashes with Iron Horse. And now they got to work together to find these aliens and kill them. At one point, they think they're gone, but then, General Wilson was going to shut them down, but they find that they're still alive. They just have gone in the deep cover as they try to find the brethren, find those ships, and complete. And I believe they have this quote the aliens use. I believe it's to life eternal or something. Season 1, it's a good season. Take in mind, I was 10 years old when that first season came out. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think because, again, I was 10 years old, and this kind of thing would, I think it would interest a kid, at least of the 80s. I don't know about nowadays. Season 2, I didn't really care for. Season 2, it turns out that the aliens' homeworld, something happens with it, and there's a hierarchy. The aliens that we saw in Season 1 in the movie were lower on the totem pole, and the hierarchy's coming down, and is not too happy with them. And they can make copies of people's bodies or something. And Norton and Iron Horse leave. And I thought I had it here in my notes. Because who replaces him? I think it was the guy that went on to do the Highlander series. Also, Grover Mills, which is from the radio show, was in the radio show. I don't know about the movies. It's featured in it, and it turns out that the 38 radio show was reality. They just changed things to kind of make it look like it wasn't real. And there were a few people there who actually remember. Again, 10-year-old me really, really enjoyed this show. Again, season 1. I think that's why, all these years later, I actually thought it out. Was seeking for it. I found this is both seasons. I got this from Amazon. I will put the link for this in the description. If you haven't checked this out, and you're a fan of sci-fi, and if you like that original movie, dude, watch this. I know that there was a Tom Cruise one, which I've only seen once, and I have seen the original movie. I need to get my hands on that original movie so I can add that. You can hear my dog outside. Add that to this. I think there was a later show, but it wasn't linked to any of the movies. And this is really good. It's dark. It's interesting. Season 2, Blackwood changes because his eccentric, free-thinking way is gone as he becomes more darker and angry. And he's a bit more of a pacifist, didn't care for guns, and I think he cares around a gun. So he's affected. It's Adrian Paul. I think that's the guy from Highlander who I want to say pops up in this. I could be wrong. And for season 2, again, good show. If you have seen this and remember it, tell me what your thoughts on this show in the description. But if you haven't, like I said, it's well worth checking out. I don't know if it's streaming anywheres. Actually, I should do a little looky and see if it is streaming anywheres. And if I can find it streaming anywheres, I'll put that in the description too. Now again, this is just a test run to see how this thing go. Give it a retrospective of these old shows. But who knows, maybe somewhere way down the road I'll talk about the whole incident in 38. Because that is that's a whole other story. Because, woo! I wish I could find some newspaper clippings from what happened in 38. Because, trust me, if you don't know what happened in 38, the radio show that Orson Welles did, woo, look it up, man. It's a hoot. Oh, he had people freaking out, apparently. But anyways, tell me what you think about this retrospective deal I'm going to be trying out. There are a few shows, live-action cartoons, I would like to look at. Of course, I have to get my hands on them. Well, I do have Xena over there, and a season of Star Trek The Next Generation over there. Haven there, and Criminal Minds Season 1 somewheres. But anyways, tell me what you think, and if you think there's any old shows. Haven will probably be the newest show I will do a retrospective on. But if any old shows from the 80s, on the 90s, early 2000s, maybe the 70s, that you think I should take a look at, let me know. But anyways, I am the Pacific Northwest Geek. Feeling a little under the weather because I decided for the New Year's stream, even though I was starting to feel sick, to drink. Not smart when you're coming down with something to drink. Anyways, I will see you on the flip side. Toodaloo.